Know that your history does not determine your destiny. You are here to shine. So find your light and shine bright.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Lorna Blake. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful afternoon?
I am doing fantastic. I'm in beautiful sunny Florida and the sun is shining, and I can't even tell you how meaningful that is to me because I'm a very sunny personality. So it's great.
Oh, you can hear that. You said sunny and I heard the accent right there, I'll tell you. right there. Yeah, that's great to hear. Now, do tell me, Lorna, which of your talents is responsible, if you had to sum it up to one, for us connecting at a specific time in history?
Gosh, I wish I could tell you two, but
Go for it.
All right. My research and my speaking. I had the incredible pleasure of having somebody invite me to be a guest on their podcast. And I hadn't had much contact with them, so I decided to search them. And then I found out that they had been interviewed by you. And I heard your accent and I was like, I've got to be interviewed by him. I really want it. So I did get in touch and here I am today. So I'm feeling really good about that.
That's wonderful, wonderful. I remember, I think I messaged back at some point and I said, I love people who get it done. And it feels as though you are definitely that person. Tell us, who did you learn that from? In fact, let's open up tenacity, because it feels as though you walk in tenacity and you're a tenacious individual. Would you say that's accurate?
That is so true. I've heard that so often, and I believe it is. Yes. Yes.
Who do you think you learned that from?
Oh my gosh, Angel, it's probably come from my ancestors, and I say that because I've just come back from Africa and I'm super on fire for what I learned. The fact that I've come from people who came through such, traumatic and challenging circumstances, and they were able to live through that. To come from where they came from, right? To be brought in chains to this part of the world and just to be able to survive that and to keep going and to push through. So I feel like I'm walking on the shoulders of giants. If you see me standing tall, if there's anything that I've achieved, it's because I've come from people like that. They just never gave up.
That's beautiful. Yeah, definitely never giving up. So again, the trauma that's gone with that process and you seeing it face to face by visiting that place, Ghana specifically, and seeing that. Of course, you've been to over 15 countries as well. So you've had a fair measuring stick, right, of what life looks like. Why will you continue nevertheless to pursue your dreams, to pursue and never give up?
It is the joy of my life. It's what gets me up in the morning and it's what lets me roll out of bed and keep going, because I get to be a trailblazer and a torchbearer and a way shower for people, that no matter where you've come from, no matter what your circumstances are or have been, your history does not determine your destiny. And you have an important responsibility to live and don't allow your circumstances to dictate your present life.
Love that. All right, so now there's the coaching side of what you do together with being an award-winning co-author. Could you open that up for me, please? What's the name of that book?
Yes, the name of the book is No More Chains. It's Time for Change. And in that book, I reveal my story of actually just confronting being a fatherless daughter after more than 50 years. And I just did that last year. So it got turned into a movie and a film documentary that actually got released and was screened in select theaters in the US. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, congratulations. Again, the pain has translated into a way of helping others grow, and that's amazing.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Now, where's the best place for us to go to see these information?
Yeah, you can actually visit my website, lornablake.com, or you can find me on Twitter, LornaB09, on Facebook as well, Lorna M. Blake. Lorna M as in Mother Blake.
There we go. All right. Tell me one other thing, Lorna, you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
One of the things that I do is I have a spiritual practice that incorporates gratitude. And that's writing what I'm grateful for when I get up in the morning. And what I find really great is that it multiplies my blessings or my abundance. And so I invite whoever, is listening. If you want to multiply your abundance, measure it by counting it on a daily basis. It makes a big difference.
I love that. I love that. So, and again, you're doing it actively. Is it that you're doing it before it happens, or are you doing it like speaking it into being?
I love your questions. They're so insightful. So I have a book, and you can find that on Amazon and elsewhere. It's called The 5-Minute Journal. And when I get up in the morning, one of the first things that I do is I answer what are 3 things that I'm grateful for when I get up. And I also do celebrate my blessings before they come. Every day I get up, I have a bunch of stuff that I do, including that.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. So how does it make you feel looking back from now to then of doing that to see where it's brought you today?
Yes. So much has come about as a result of it, Angel. It's like magical and miraculous. I can't even describe to you. It's like it's catapulted me to a whole nother stratosphere, being consistent with that.
I can well imagine. I love that. I love that. All right. All right. Suggest to others that are out there listening why they should begin doing that.
I really feel that you cannot multiply what you don't measure. So multiply your abundance and your blessings by measuring them. Start counting them.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Lorna Blake. You can connect with her at lornablake.com. Lorna, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Lorna, what's your earliest childhood memory?
Being with my grandmother in the farmhouse where I was born in rural Jamaica. And I remember saying to her that I was going to buy her a thermos. And she said to me, my child, I'm not going to be here when you grow up to buy me a thermos, but the aunts them will come and tell me. So in other words, I won't be here, but I will learn about it. The aunts will tell me.
Ooh, wow. So how old were you in this memory?
I want to say about 3 years old. Definitely not 4, because I hadn't started school yet.
Why do you think it's so clear, this particular memory?
My grandmother was my first nurturer, and she was the first person who made me feel loved and supported. And so she made me feel like I was special. I was everything to her. So I came through with a lot of pain, but my grandmother gave me a sense of security and love. And so that stayed with me.
That's intriguing. So the aunts she spoke of, it's AUNTS, right? Like her sister, or was it the animal ants?
The animal. It's so interesting how you picked up on. Yeah. It's fascinating how we think of past life or, life after death or what.
Yeah. Just thinking about it, if it's anyone that's going to be around her, it's the ants, right? Like they'll probably be closer to her than the ground, right? That's pretty interesting. So let's tap into the thermos though. Like, how did you see the need for her, and how did you see it be a thermos that she required?
It's so fascinating because I realize she was probably saying if only she had a thermos, because she had a daughter in England at the time who, she would send stuff for her. But she was in need of a thermos, and she had made that clear. And I am the kind of person who as young as I was, it's something that's been a part of me my whole life. I look to support people where they have a need. And so I just said that.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I love the concept as well of the thermos and what it represents of helping something to two things. To keep its state, because the thermos can help something that's hot stay hot. It can also help something that's cold stay cold.
That's
but just seeing that you are helping other people now, today, your work is to help others understand the value of their state and how to keep in that state. And you do it through gratitude, right?
That's
Just keep excited. And because heat is something where the elements are being excited, right? But to see that is pretty intriguing. Wow, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And you're very insightful,
Oh,
even in
thank you.
terms of what you're able to catch and
Thank you.
capture.
Thank you. Thank you. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I have to tell you, I couldn't think of a favorite song because that was a point in my life where there was a lot of challenging circumstances. By this time, I had moved to the city and I was living with my mom, and I had been through childhood sexual abuse. There was a lot of stuff that was going on at the time, and there were many things that I don't remember. But if I were to just bring up a song, that would be my favorite song, it would be a song by Johnny Nash, I Can See Clearly Now. And
Love
I
it.
know Jimmy Cliff did that later,
Yeah.
but that would be the song. I can see clearly now it's going to be a bright, sunshiny day.
Love it, love it, love it. That's wonderful. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Lorna?
Yes, yes.
Lorna, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
It is important to me that my legacy be passed on. And so I'm looking for that to be passed on to hundreds and thousands of young people that I mentor every year.
That's wonderful. Are you married?
I am, yes, happily.
All right. Happily is a great adverb right there. Do you have children?
I do. I have 2 sons.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely. That's my rock.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do. Very intimate.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I don't.
How about 3 hours a week?
I don't actually watch TV. I don't own a TV.
Wow. What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? More than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less.
All right. What about reading? How often do you read?
I'm a reader. It's what got me through trauma.
All right. Well, Lorna, this has been such a great pleasure. I'd like to know if you had your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are. What would that be?
It would be, you are here to be a trailblazer, a torchbearer. Shine brightly and keep blazing a trail.
Love it. Lorna, a pleasure, I treasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I am thrilled and delighted to be here today. And I would say to your audience, you have such an incredible gift that you've been given, no matter what the circumstances look like. Know that your history does not determine your destiny, that you are here to shine. So find your light and shine bright.
Love it. Again, amazing audience. Lorna Blake. Lorna, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.